So generative AI has been a big bang for all of us.
Yeah.
And I must be honest that exactly 1 year ago, I was a bit skeptic about, how generative AI or this ChatGPT thing could impact our way of working, but also our contents and our, let's say, approach of delivering both the thought leadership and some client projects. And then within our team, I need to thank my colleagues who pushed me, again, nudged me like my father did. And this reminded me immediately my father, why don't you, let's say, open an account on ChatGPT and start playing with it. Let's have a look. Because, they kept saying it to me, we're a bit amazed by, the potential of this thing. So why don't you develop your own point of view? And then in parallel, editors, publishers with whom we, let's say, regularly interact with, they started asking for our point of view, my point of view on generative AI, especially for management. And so when I bundled the two things, I said, they are nudging me to start playing with the thing. Externals are asking for my point of view. Maybe it's time now for, going online and have a look at this ChatGPT thing. So it goes without saying that it was, let's say, a wow experience. Okay. So our first approach to generative AI was to start using it within our own domain of expertise. And so being experts on management theories and practices, we said, okay, let's start experimenting with the machine in a way that we feel we have the expertise to judge and to differentiate whether the output is of good quality or is an hallucination or is lacking some information and so on. And again, this is one of the recommendations that I always give to people. So start from what you know. Because if you want to feel confident and comfortable in challenging the machine, start from your own field of expertise. We published an eBook with Harvard Business Review Italy. It was June last year. And we shared the results of our first experiments in which we were asking ChatGPT how generative AI can either enhance or radically disrupt some of the most popular theories. And the book was a success in the sense that, we were approached by many people, online, offline, because to be honest, we were pioneers. We were the very first ones asking such questions about the impact of this technology on management. Then we traveled to the US and we did some sort of, let's say, small roadshow across various universities on the East Coast. And at that point in time, they were listening in a curious way. They were asking questions, the academics. But again, they were taking distance from generative AI, in part because, the university was banning the use of ChatGPT, in part because they felt, like myself 6 months before, a skeptic person saying, it will never impact my job and my way of teaching. But then in the last 6 months, things have radically changed, especially in the academic world. And we should thank some influencers and pioneers like Professor Ethan Malik or Professor Connor Grennan, the Dean of NYU, for creating this wave of awareness, of increasing awareness, for ringing the bells and pushing people, especially in the academic fields, from professors to students, to start getting familiar with the technology, to embrace the technology, to find the good ways, responsible ways of using it. And in parallel, we saw similar shifts also in the business world. But there's a but. If on the one hand, the percentage of executives who buy into this concept of generative AI, who believe that this is a disruptive technology to be embraced, to invest in, and so on and so forth, only a very small percentage of these executives use it on a daily basis. And so this is a warring gap between the, let's say, the talking and the walking, okay? So this knowing-doing gap is something that needs to be urgently filled in. And so we started experimenting with professors, with practitioners on some managerial use cases to show also managers that it's not a technological barrier. The technology is there. You as a human, you are the barrier now, because the technology could do much more things if you know how to interact in a proper way with the machine. And so again, long story short, over the last 8 months, we've been, let's say, prototyping some human-machine conversations, which can either, let's say, be applied with a conversational interface like ChatGPT, or they can also become a bot. But this is not the point. It's not the technological solution. It's the way in which we as human can drive and architect the conversation with the machine. And this is very overlooked. And this is still overlooked as an aspect. The most common narrative is about how to use generative AI for automation, semi-automation, as an assistant. We are all familiar with the Copilot concept, thanks also to Microsoft 365 Copilot. But this is just one way of interacting with the machine. The more complex the tasks, the more uncertain some problems, the different interaction mode is needed. And so this is what we call the co-thinker. So the machine can be either your assistant co-pilot or can become your sparring partner. And this is not about pushing a button and waiting for the machine to give you the magic answer, the perfect solution. It's about interacting with the machine. And the machine is very good at taking different roles, at taking the point of view of different stakeholders. The machine is very good at becoming your methodological guide, especially on well-known theories and practices, what I mentioned at the beginning. So the first experiment was a wow moment. We realized that the machine was very proficient in theories like blue ocean strategy, okay? And so it truly depends on how you can strategize the conversation with the machine. But then ultimately, is you, the human, making the decision? Is you, the human, deciding what type of conversation would like to have, the type of output? So it's no longer pressing a button, clicking OK, and waiting for magic to happen, but it's how you engage with this new team member. This requires building a capability, so we are at the dawn of a new management capability. And the academic world has now fully realized this compared to 1 year ago. And so they are investing, in aligning the course, teaching material, and so on to fill this gap. Managers and executives are understanding that, they can't watch from the outside, but they need to get also themselves the hands dirty with the technology. And ultimately, we need also to raise awareness on the importance of the mindset, of the character, what I was saying before. So the machine will be a booster for our excellence in performance, but it's our duty and responsibility to also boost and make sure that we are also excellent humans in the way in which we use the technology. And so the mindset that we would like our people to embody and to embrace when using AI, generative AI, metaverse, and all the new technologies that are coming up on our way, we need to be excellent humans, responsible humans. And so that's what we're doing right now. So